I have been waiting to fight you for 1,000 years. Typical stock villain quote, right? An ancient evil comes back from its slumber and faces the hero after a millennium of rest. However, what if I told you that this innocuous line carries with it massive implications for one of Yu-Gi-Oh's most famous villains, and specifically, his true origins? Hello, I'm Jared Discord, and today we're going to talk about Yami Marik, the main antagonist of the Battle City Finals arc. Along with this, we're going to talk about his role in the story, the connection with the Millennium Rod, and what exactly Yami Marik is. So, if you guys are excited, leave a like and maybe subscribe because it really helps me out. Otherwise, let's get started. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to my phrasing from earlier. I'm not asking who Yami Marik is, I'm asking what Yami Marik is. Because the series is not all that clear. Yami Marik is apparently a split personality created by the abuse from Marik's father. Sounds pretty cut and dry, right? Marik Ishtar just has dissociative identity disorder, which, as the name implies, is a mental illness known for the affected having multiple personalities. While admittedly there are similarities, such as depersonalization, amnesia, and distress, the truth is not that simple. Yami Marik doesn't just seem to take over Marik's body, he pushes Marik's soul out of his body, which is shown with Yami Bakura during their duel. This implies that Yami Marik is some sort of being that can exist without Marik's direct involvement. While you could explain this away with anime magic, this explanation does not sit right with me. Yami Marik, especially in the manga, repeatedly implies that he is much older, much more ancient than he first appears, with the previous quote hinting to Seto Kaiba that he may have some knowledge of the history from 1,000 years ago. While the ambiguity of these statements could be interpreted in many ways, I think a very important clue to Yami Marik's origin is right in front of us. The Eye of Anubis on Yami Marik's forehead. The Eye of Anubis is a symbol that appears throughout the series and is often associated with Yami Yugi when using the power of the Millennium Puzzle. However, the Eye of Anubis is featured heavily in the Battle City arc as a symbol associated with Marik and the Rare Hunters, such as on the Rare Hunters' cloaks and on their foreheads when Marik is asserting direct influence with the Millennium item, the Millennium Rod. Influence or control from an outside force is a key aspect of Marik's character and will be important later. Getting back to Yami Marik, let's talk about his character. Well, he's evil, he's sadistic, and yeah, that's really about it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Yami Marik needs to be some sort of Machiavellian schemer or anything, but Yami Marik is surprisingly simple compared to his predecessors. Most of this comes from the fact that we do not know where he came from and what his ultimate goal is. Well, I guess it's not entirely true. In chapter 229 of the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga, Ishizu recounts the story of Yami Marik's birth. We pick up the story when Marik and Ishizu return from Marik's first experience in the outside world. Ishizu notices with horror that there is an alarm that alerted Marik's father as soon as they fled. They rush downstairs to find Mr. Ishtar torturing Rashid for allowing Marik and Ishizu to leave while under his watch. Marik screams for his father to stop, but is warned that their punishment is next. Mr. Ishtar reignites his sword as he slashes Rashid again, apparently killing him. Marik looks on in terror as he begins holding his head, the trauma awakening Yami Marik. This new personality immediately grabs the Millennium Rod, ignoring his father's protests as he overwhelms him and murders his father with the rod's blade. He then drapes the flayed back tattoo over Rashid's injuries in a demented act to accept him into the Ishtar family. Fortunately, Rashid begins stirring, revealing he was merely unconscious. Yami Marik pales to this revelation. "No," he mutters, before attempting to impale Rashid with the rod's hidden blade while screaming, "Why won't you stay dead?" Rashid mumbles, "Master Marik," upon seeing him. This simple phrase causes Yami Marik to drop the Millennium Rod and collapse on the floor as Marik regains control of his body. Marik groans in confusion as he begins looking backwards. Despite Rashid's protest, he sees the mutilated corpse of his father. Marik breaks down, freeing and holding his father's corpse as he wonders who did this. Almost in response, Shadi appears from nowhere, and explains that the soul of the Pharaoh drove Marik's father to his death. Marik repeats, "Soul of the Pharaoh," as his eyes focus in rage, ending the chapter. Although Yami Marik was sealed, the apparent corruption always remained, causing Marik Ishtar to become nearly sociopathic in demeanor as he built up the Rare Hunters, with the goal of getting the 3 legendary Egyptian gods and usurping the role of the Pharaoh from Atem, which set off the events of the Battle City arc. Going over that story, one thing that immediately sticks out to me, besides, Marik ripping off his father's skin, is Yami Marik's first response when being born. He grabs the Millennium Rod. Why the Millennium Rod? Why did Yami Marik choose that one in particular? While yes, you could say the Millennium Rod is one of the more powerful items, there could be more to it. And this comes from a line that Shadi said regarding the Millennium items in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions. Shadi explains the role of each Millennium item. 3 represent justice, the Millennium Key, the Millennium Scale, and the Millennium Necklace. 1 represents justice and evil in equal measure, the Millennium Puzzle. And 3 Millennium items are weak to evil, the Millennium Eye, the Millennium Ring, and the Millennium Rod, which is held by Marik Ishtar. What Shoddy says here is rather vague. Weak to evil? What could that possibly mean? Well, it's important to keep in mind that the formation of the Millennium items were the result of 99 human sacrifices by Akhenaten. So one could easily say that weak to evil means that the wielder may be more easily influenced, there's that word again, by evil. The Millennium Eye started Pegasus' descent into madness, and the Millennium Ring causing Bakor's possession are the result of the Millennium items being weak to evil. This influence has repeatedly proven to not require direct contact, as with the case of Bakor's Millennium Ring. So, as I've implied, Yami Marik is not just a split personality created by mundane means. Instead, Yami Marik was his madness given form by the Millennium Rod's power, creating a being that only wants to destroy. So, in a way, Yami Marik is the Millennium Rod. This would go a long way in explaining many of the inconsistencies with Yami Marik's character. His simple, almost animalistic goal of destruction was an intentional choice to show that this is the result of what the Millennium items were truly capable of when used by someone with a broken psyche. This would also give much needed context to the "I have been waiting to fight you for 1,000 years" line. This could very well be the dark magic of the item's inception given form by Marik's fractured psyche, which allowed the Millennium item to take direct control of its owner, without directly housing a spirit. This makes it all the more satisfying when her shit awakens, giving Marik control of his body and destroying the extension of the Millennium Rod's power, saving Marik. To finish out, there is a quote that I've heard before that says, "Evil is not born, it's taught." However, Yami Marik shows that sometimes, just sometimes, evil is born. But that's just my theory. What do you guys think? Leave your ideas in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear it. Also, if you enjoyed, leave a like and maybe subscribe because it helps the heck out of me. If you want to directly support me, you can donate to my Ko-fi link in the description. Ko-fi is a website that allows you to donate as little as $1 to your favorite creators. Every dollar will be used to improve the channel and purchase a new PC to make editing less of a hassle. Otherwise, I'm Jared Discord. Thank you guys for watching and I hope you guys have an excellent day. Bye.